The Lord of the Rings new prequel, The Rings of Power, includes familiar characters from The Lord of the Rings, teasing the possibility that Legolas could appear in the prequel series.
What's happening out there?
Shall I describe it to you? Or would you like me to find you a box?
Set thousands of years before The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, the Prime Video series The Rings of Power already features Galadriel and Elrond, two of the immortal elves from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth stories. Legolas is also an immortal elf, so there is potential that he too could appear in The Rings of Power.
Legolas! Two already!
I'm on 17!
Legolas is a Sindar elf of the Woodland Realm, best remembered as one of the 9 Fellowship of the Ring members in The Lord of the Rings. He previously appeared in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings adaptations, including the Hobbit movie trilogy, and is popular for his skilled showmanship and memorable kills, including one epic duel against an elephant in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Legolas is also known for his friendship with the dwarf named Gimli, with whom he eventually sails to Valinor after inviting him as the first and only dwarf to travel to the Undying Lands. Although Legolas could, in theory, be included in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, such an appearance is unlikely to happen in the series anytime soon. The Lord of the Rings movies officially put Legolas's age as 2931, but given that Aragorn is coincidentally born in the year 2931, this age seems to be a guess rather than canon. In truth, no one knows how old Legolas is, with his birth year never specified in Tolkien's stories, so it's possible that he can appear in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. However, compared to Elrond and Galadriel, Legolas is a less mature elf who hasn't faced the same horrors experienced in the War of Wrath against Morgoth or Last Alliance against Sauron. Elrond also never mentions having a history of fighting alongside Legolas, with elves often referring to such occasions. Although Legolas seems unlikely to make an appearance in The Rings of Power, his father, Thranduil, could be involved in the series. Thranduil is the son of Orofer, an elf who establishes the woodland realm of the Sylvan Elves and is killed in the Second Age's Battle of Dagorlad during the Last Alliance. After Orofer's death, Thranduil, who also fights at Dagorlad, becomes king of the woodland realm and reigns over the whole of Greenwood the Great. Eventually, Sauron establishes an influence in Greenwood, infesting it with orcs as it becomes known as Mirkwood. All of these events take place in the Second and early Third Age, which could be toward the end of the Rings of Power's timeline. Legolas may not be born yet, but his father and grandfather are certainly alive during the events of the Rings of Power. His father and grandfather are not well known in Middle-earth lore, so it could be exciting to see their stories unfold in the series and discover the backstory of Legolas's ancestry. This would be a better callback to The Lord of the Rings than actually involving Legolas in the events, especially considering his appearance in The Hobbit felt shoehorned. Either way, it will be intriguing to see the history of the elves in Middle-earth continue to unfold in The Rings of Power.